give a warm round of applause for General David Petraeus.
I talked to David Petraeus at the Skirball Cultural Center. The four-star general once helped run the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq for President Bush, served as CIA director under President Obama. President Trump even flirted with the idea of bringing him in his cabinet. This week, the president announced U.S. support for Israel's sovereignty in the Golan Heights.
What's your response to that? Good move?
Well, my response is that it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in Congress with this, and perhaps even more interesting to see what happens in the Arab world.
President Trump's tweet comes as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, a Trump ally, struggles in the polls in his country.
I think it's a coincidence that Benjamin Netanyahu's up for re-election.
Do they do politics in Washington and in Tel Aviv?
Yeah.
And Jerusalem, of course?
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
This event, hosted by the Syrian Institute for Progress, a group focused on bringing relief to Syria's civil war.
This has been so horrific. I have termed this a geopolitical Chernobyl, the meltdown of a country.
I asked Petraeus how Syria would look today if President Obama had listened to his suggestion to arm the Syrian opposition early on.
I will say that it's hard to imagine a situation that could have been worse.
In Petraeus' view, Syrian President Bashar al Assad will retain power for the foreseeable future.
Saying that he ought to go is different from saying that it's realistic that he will go.
We also talked about North Korean leader Kim Jong-un.
When you have a leader that may not be totally trustworthy, how do you go about that as a policymaker? How do you sit in a meeting with somebody like that?
Wasn't it the former governor of this great state when he was president who said trust but verify?
Yeah.
I don't think you can fault the president for trying something very unconventional, given what the conventional approach produced in the past.
Petraeus hasn't endorsed a presidential candidate, but I asked him, would he serve in a future administration?
The greatest privilege in life, I think, is to serve a mission larger than the self, which generally has to do with your country. But, I mean, that's a long way off and a big hypothetical.
So notice he didn't say no.
Yeah.
So what is Petraeus doing now? He's doing a lot of public speaking, like tonight. He's a partner at a consulting firm called KKR, and he's a professor at USC. And he's here teaching at USC this week.
All right, well, soon enough, you got to get him on The Issue Is.
Well, that, of course, we'll have more of that tomorrow night on The Issue Is at 10:30 right here
Good.
on Fox 11. Yes.
Perfect.
Thanks for the plug.
Absolutely.